Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. My name is Jane, this is my channel, International Tarot. I wanted to do a quick message regarding private readings if you're interested, okay? I just put up a temporary booking page, I'm still building out my site, but it's only going to be available till June 14th, and then I'm going to be turning it off again because I have a visitor coming here to visit me in Bali, and I won't be able to be doing privates. And then again in July for only a couple weeks. Likely I'm going to be moving to Europe after the middle of July or into early August. So it's going to be kind of sporadic, and I apologize for that, but I just got to work around my schedule a little bit. So thank you so much again, and enjoy your reading. Hello Leo, how are you? Welcome to your love reading for June 2017. Thanks so much for being here. Let's go ahead and just dive right in and get started because I've already prepared the deck for you. So let's go. Okay. This one. Artisan of Wands, well that's you, okay, and the Two of Cups. But the Two of Cups is crossing you. You may be in this, I love the way this deck kind of, it doesn't have the typical knight qualities, right? It places the knights as artisans, which are essentially creators. They are the doers, okay? They are the creatives of the deck. And the Artisan of Wands is the architect, right? When you think of an architect, you think of a designer, but with specific calculations and dimensions and an understanding of the whole picture, but with the ability to do the mundane, okay? So it's a really powerful message for you that you are kind of taking on this creative creation type of energy, or this mindset, or but in terms of love, to have the Two of Cups crossing you, it's almost as though a love connection is really stopping you or preventing you from making progress. And for some of you, even if you're not in a relationship, maybe you have a connection with someone that you don't have a relationship with, and it's like, well, why do I feel this way? And for those of you in a relationship, I don't necessarily see issues yet, okay? So I don't know if there's been like an argument or whatever, but sometimes love can be distracting. Sometimes love can pull you away from your projects, can pull you away from your goals. And with Mars in Gemini right now and Venus in Aries, we have a lot of scattered type of energy, okay? And it's not very focused anyway. So you have that plus whatever love connection issue that you're having, kind of both sort of working against you in your true desire to remain steadfast and work toward your goals. And the Tower in your foundation, in this deck it's called the Shipwreck. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. Okay, yeah, so in this deck it's called the Shipwreck. And then you have the Devotee of Wands in the past position. Maybe no communication, lack of communication, someone unwilling to take steps, someone unwilling to move in a specific direction or to do the required things that need to be done. The Shipwreck, I love, actually. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my favorite cards. My favorite is the Wheel of Fortune. But this one really speaks to dramatic change. And something must have happened with you, okay, regarding your relationship. Not necessarily seeing it as a blowout or an argument, or no one cheated on anybody. I mean, maybe for some of you, but it's just like a change. Something changed, something turned, something is forcing you to choose between your own life and your devotion to another person. Like I said, it's your love that's getting in the way. And in some cases, it really may be holding you back, Tower really makes us reconsider a lot of things. It's the universe's way of smacking us back on track, is what I used to always say. I haven't said that in a long time, but I used to always say that. The universe's way of smacking us back on track and getting us to be where we're supposed to be. So it's kind of an interesting thing when such dramatic change can feel like such wreckage, but in actuality, it's the best thing. Okay, so don't be too discouraged by what you've gone through or what you've been dealing with, and don't be too discouraged by what happened in the past or the lack of what happened. Okay, it's in the cards for you. Okay, if I can be so cheesy as to say that. See, you have stability coming out, 4 of Wands. You have stability and celebration and togetherness and good things in your future. All right, so this is a card of marriage. It's a card of celebration and good times and good things. It's also a card of like roots and establishing roots. Okay, the four corners of a square. All right, like a home, like foundation. There's a lot of cards speaking to foundation, I think. Cracks in the foundation, lack thereof, and then establishing that foundation. All right, and maybe there was, maybe this was something that was said, and in the past it had never been said before, and now it has been said, and you're maybe even kind of in a little bit of a limbo and like wondering what's going to happen or what direction this is really going to go. But it's really, so far, based on the cards, it's headed in a really beautiful direction, so don't stress. Another 4, like even the pyramids, they may be triangular pyramid in shape, but they have 4 corners at the bottom, right? 4 of coins. This is a theme coming out, all right? I'm going to explain this a little bit. Now, it's been a few days since, so I think the effect has kind of worn off, but I'm still going to say it because we had the supermoon in Gemini a few days ago. I think it was on the 25th of May. And that particular moon spoke to and I'm oversimplifying, I'm not an astrologer. I'm trying to learn because I feel like I cannot have tarot without astrology. I feel like, I can do it and I have been doing it, but I think it would be so much more beneficial if I could at least know a little bit more. So anyway, so this is my little attempt at trying to explain the way I understand it to be. And for those astrologers out there, please leave in the comments because you probably know much better than I do. But the new moon or supermoon was about our desires and how they reflect on us, okay? And here I think there's an examination why you want something. Okay, why do you want this thing? Why do you want this relationship to work? Or why do you want to break up or whatever? And what it is that you value, okay? Like if you have placed value on a person that is unattainable, okay? Or they're just happy hoeing around, right? What does that say about your self-respect? And what does that say about you? But again, this connection is getting in the way. So I think you've acknowledged some truth, all right? Like maybe your goals and your aspirations aren't quite the proper reflection of how you are trying to design your life, right? That those desires are not in line with things, okay? Now, I'm not saying that some of you are totally in love with the wrong person. I'm not saying any of you are breaking up or whatever. It's going to be different for every person, obviously, but I think that's kind of the essence of what's been happening, okay? And this is about self-respect. It's about self-value, self-worth, and really analyzing our direction and asking ourselves if it's in line. Again, a number 4. 4 is associated with the Emperor in the major arcana, and that is the epitome of stability, the epitome of foundation, the epitome of strength and control, right? And Leo, you're ruled by the sun, the most powerful of all, and so there's a great deal of of surfacing of things, I believe. Two of Coins. Balance, yes, but also facades. I often see the juggler as facades. And, you know, we all wear so many hats. We all try to be so many different things to different people all the time. And you may be good at that, and you may be doing a good job. Okay, it's upright, so I'm not saying you dropping any balls or failing in any way. But I think there is a lack of authenticity to you right now, okay? And I often see this card as being a lack of authenticity. It's not the traditional definition, but it's how I see it. And you are playing so many roles that in some way you've lost yourself. You've lost that true core self. And as much as you're trying to make it happen, this love connection it's affecting you, okay? And it's preventing you from truly shining right now. It's temporary, okay? This whole reading is all temporary. Artisan of Coins. I'm going to just pull out the rest here. Okay, in your environment, this may be an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, or it could be another side of you. You know, if you have an earth quality in your chart. This is duty, okay? Someone is fulfilling their duty and they're doing what they're supposed to do. You don't necessarily have to be happy about this, okay? This is the potter, the one that creates pots humbly and diligently and dutifully. Sorry if you couldn't see that. I didn't check to see if I'd cut it off. You know, but very slow for commitment. Honorable, yes, but not the most likely to give you what you want right away. Very much afraid of coming to you, very much afraid of giving themselves to you, okay? You have a lot more action in your vibe than this person, okay? They seem to be happy with things the way they are, and maybe that's it, right? Like, you want to move forward, you want to make this established situation happen, and you're trying to figure out how to do that, but you need them to participate, and they're not participating. That's why it's getting in your way. You want to manifest things, and I think you're afraid that it won't happen, or you're afraid that you don't have the ability to, leaving you in this state of decision, this pivot point. I always call the sevens the pivotal card, pivot where we transition from one direction to the next. And this is a moment of decision. What do you do? What do you do about it? Okay. Now, this is a significant reevaluation of values, significant reevaluation of where you place worth, right? Just have to make sure where you place worth and where you place your, again, if you're a superficial person and you care more about dating people with money or a nice house or whatever, and either you're manifesting that or you're not, right? But maybe you're getting that in some way, and you're now feeling dissatisfied with that. Now, if you're not a superficial person and you have a lot of, love to give to someone who's a really quality, like I say, a dutiful person, but yet they are unwilling to bend and give you what you need, again, what does that say about your inner drive, all right, or your independence or your self-respect or whatever, okay? Now, I'm not saying it's negative for all of you. It's not going to be negative for all of you. Some of you have a beautiful self-reflection and like, yes, I really am a great person, and yes, I really do feel that I'm doing the best, and maybe some of you don't really have anything to really work on. It's going to apply to everybody in very different ways depending on who this person really is and how much this really affects you, because it is going to affect you all on different wavelengths. Oh no, it's raining, guys. I may have to turn my camera off. It gets a little bit loud. And the Hero of Wands. See, I sense that you are feeling very, this is the card of Leo. You're feeling very empowered. Okay? Feeling empowered and feeling restless as well. I think you are restless, like standing where you are. And I don't think that you're happy in a position waiting for someone else. And this is someone that's going to take their sweet time, and they do not care, right? They don't care if you're sitting there waiting, and they don't care that you don't like waiting. They are what they are. And, you know, this is actually the card of Virgo, all right? So now if you are dealing with a Virgo-like quality, like maybe they're kind of taking on that type of personality right now, Virgos can be incredibly stubborn, and they're not going to budge, and they're not going to sacrifice their sense of direction for someone else. Okay, they really need to make sure that it's the right thing. Okay, if they decide, then they'll be with you 100%. Oh, I'm going to turn my camera off. It's going to get a little bit loud, I think. Okay, it seems to have stopped for now, so let's just keep going on. I was just finishing up about that Virgo. Okay, 3 of Coins and the Siren. Yes, okay. This is about communication, okay? So I'm wondering what happened. It seems to me like maybe a conversation was had, or someone tried to bring options to the table or creative solutions or something, and something happened, I think, in the realm of like someone trying to make something happen, okay? And it took kind of a wrong turn, all right? Or it took an unexpected turn. Likely you didn't get what you wanted, or you weren't able to give them what they wanted, or, you know, and if you're totally single, okay, in a dating sense, this person would represent the people you're dating generally, all right? And you being, I think, more ready for whatever, ready for a relationship, ready for marriage, than this person or these people, okay? So it can represent multiple people. It's just an energy or a vibe around you. This is your environment of slow movement. Good people, okay, but maybe not the most sexual attraction either, or maybe it's a one-sided attraction where you're more drawn to someone or something like that, okay? So just kind of open your mind and expand it a little bit to kind of fit your story if you need to. The Siren is like the devil in this particular deck, okay? And it is temptation, it is lust. Like there's certainly something that is hard to shake, you know, and there's something that's difficult to just let go, you know, and let's not trivialize this idea of letting go or moving on, right? Because now moving on from a person or moving on from an issue, okay, moving on from a shipwreck, all right, it is a little traumatizing. It is like, wow, I really didn't expect that, or I really wasn't, you know, planning for that, or like I said, it took a wrong turn somewhere, and it is a little disorienting, you know. And you have a lot of drive. You have a lot of energy to really make this work. But let's make sure you're not using that energy to sink back into something that is not healthy. All right. Let's make sure that you're not sinking back into patterns that do not serve the greater good for you in your life, that are not in line with how you are choosing to design your life, okay? And the Hero of Swords, So some of you may be dealing with an air sign. Now I'm getting an air quality, okay? Hero of Swords is the card of Aquarius, but it represents an air Libra, Gemini, Aquarius as well. This is usually someone who is very detached, okay? I think that this person cares about you if it does represent a person, or if it is multiple people, or, you know, like a potential or something. They care about you. You are important to them. But I don't think that they can serve the Leo, and I'm so sorry I'm saying this. I feel like I'm not attacking you guys, okay? But they cannot serve the Leo ego, okay? They're not the right person for that. I have Leo in Venus, so I understand that there is this desire to maintain like a strong connection all the time. And it's more fixed, right? You are the fixed fire sign, and the Hero of Wands does have a stubborn-like quality. All the kings do. And so we have two kings and even an artisan of coins. So not only is this person or these people, are they slow, but they're also just as stubborn as you and unlikely to bend. Now they may provide some form of compassion, or they may try or may extend, you know, a hand to console. I think that you're, in this particular instance, whether you're male or female, you are being portrayed as the woman in this card, and the partner or the other person is the hero, a warrior who has an agenda. He's got stuff to do. Like, they're not going to be here for long. They expect independence in their life, in their relationships. And you have two male, fire and air, both masculine polarities, both kings, okay, and also this, both kings and both independent, you know, and you can hit brick walls with this type of energy, because you want one thing, they want another thing, and unlikely to bend, unlikely to meet in the middle. The caring, and there is reciprocity. See, here you are looking to him and he is looking to you. There is reciprocity here. It's not that you don't care about one another. It's not that you don't love one another and that you don't want the best. But I think that there's two different directions happening here. Now, this may be an effort on their part to, how do we do this? Like I have my set of values, you have your set of values, and they don't match, but I still care about you. So how do we connect the dots, you know? And the Eight of Wands is about manifestation, and it's about getting from point A to point B, okay? I often see this as things coming to you, okay, but it can go both ways, you going to another thing, or, you know, traveling and all that stuff. The one thing I don't want to see is hastiness and pressure. There's no need. Pressure will not serve you here. Pressuring someone, pressuring the situation, pressuring change, it doesn't serve. You need to allow this to flow and play out organically, and allow the planets to transition to a more favorable position. And I think it will kind of calm down, and then you'll be able to find these creative solutions, right? Even the Four of Coins, there is an element of stubbornness here. And this is you, right? This is your thoughts, this is your mind. And so you are a little bit unwilling to change as well. I mean, it's both sides. I think there is a lot of stubbornness happening in the sky, or with all the signs right now. Everyone's being a little bit protective of their own self-interests right now, and it's not really conducive to relationships, okay? And the Nine of Wands, protectiveness, guardedness, willing to fight. I think that you are willing to fight for this, okay, and that you are willing to do what you need to do and fulfill your obligations, but doing so a little bit closed off. I think everyone's a little bit closed off. Like I said, they're all protecting their own self-interests right now. And everyone kind of has a little bit of layer of fake. You know, they have the image that they're projecting outwards and versus what they're feeling on the inside, you know. And the Three of Swords. There is disappointment here. There has been letdown. There has been sadness. There is grief. And this is likely very much tied to the shipwreck and the devil, okay? It's a painful love. A lot of you may be experiencing things with twin flames, right? And twin flame relationships are hard. Those are relationships that push you and challenge you and force you to expand your boundaries of tolerance and force you to re-examine your understanding of human nature, right? Two kings butting heads, but that love one another and care about one another and that really want the best for one another, but yet have two separate philosophies of life. That's a twin flame connection for sure, okay? And it does cause problems and it does cause heartache and it does cause grief. But the love is there. It's getting in your way. The love is the problem kind of thing, right? It's like, oh, if I didn't love this person so much, my life would be so much easier kind of thing, right? But it's there. Another 4. And the Enchantress of Wands. Okay. So I'm getting all like the fire, artisan, king, queen. Okay. Or knight, king, queen, however you want to say it. It seems to me like some of you are going to be choosing yourself. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. All right. Now, again, not saying that all of you are splitting, not saying that all of you are, you know, nothing like that. But I'm thinking for a moment because this Four of Swords is a card of peaceful rest and peaceful even meditation and thinking and finding a peace of mind that has likely been very difficult to find. I think that's what you're hoping for because there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of tension here, and you're hoping for a moment of relaxation, but also fearful that maybe your partner has checked out. Maybe your partner has checked out. Maybe they have shut you out, shut down, blocked you, you know, just like brick walling you, okay? That's the most frustrating thing of all, because your willingness and your desire to work and find solutions to how to fix the problem, right? It's like, well, they don't care. It's not that they don't care, they do. It's just they might be more willing to give up than you. And that's kind of a problem, right? Is that you're more willing to fight than they are, okay? This is a warrior. This is Hercules in battle, taking a leap, going to go fight. This is a warrior who's walking out the door, okay? This is a warrior who consoles his partner and says, I love you, but I got stuff to do. And then he leaves. And that just sucks sometimes, right? So you may be forced to be put in a position where you have to choose yourself because it's not that this person isn't reliable or not that this person isn't there for you, but that they are out the door. So what is it that you want? And to really tap in, I mean, you're coming out as all these beautiful fire, like really strong and wine. In general, earth and air, I mean, the least emotional, right? The least likely to show or express emotion or to understand love the way that a fire sign understands it and expresses it. Very, very different, all right? Fool coming out. such ferocity with this Fool card, just like ripping out of the shade. And this is actually from a place of anger. This is Orpheus, who just lost his wife to Hades. Okay, Orpheus is a musician. He's got his musical instrument there, and the deal was that Hades would release he and his wife, as long as he didn't look back. So he was let out first, and if he didn't look back before he was out of the shade entirely, then he would release his wife. But he looked back too soon, so Hades took his wife. And here he is, like, I can't believe that this happened. I can't believe that I allowed this. I can't believe I messed that up, And now he's left, the Fool, the beginning of the journey. Now he has a life to live after a shipwreck situation. His whole course of his life has completely morphed and changed into something else. Now that's a very dramatic story, okay? And I'm not saying that you are all at this point of drama, but it is disconcerting, it is disorienting, and where you are now is not, I don't think it's where you thought you'd be, right? Like there's confusion as to why this is happening. Another 7, so we've got 2 7s coming out. But this is 7 of Cups, emotional confusion, emotional disorientation, and 10 of Cups in the past, associated with the Devil. Why 10 of Cups with the Devil? It's what you wanted, to be happy. It's what you wanted. It's what you were working for. Okay, and what happened? I don't know. It's going to be different for everyone. Just something happened, as generically as I can see that. Something happened and it changed the course. And now the 10 of Cups, the happy family, love, and perfection is in the past. But I'm wondering if some of you didn't make that the idea of perfection your noose, right? Like you were maybe more married to the idea of the perfect life than you were, really with this person and really seeing whether or not this was a good quality match for you, And the Garden, which is like the World in the regular deck. So the World, the last card. So you have the beginning and you have the end. Well, first of all, where you are now is the beginning, okay, and where you will be is the end. So you're at the beginning of some type of a cycle. Now, this is 3 women, and they're sitting under the tree of life, and there's a serpent wrapped around them, right? The serpent, the snake. But yet everyone is content, meaning you have to be content with your demons. You have to be content with the snakes in your life, and you have to just let it be. And that pressuring anything or anyone will not get the results that you truly desire. Now, I'm not saying to not do anything, right? You are at the beginning of some type of a journey, and a very independent journey. Like I said, a lot of you are being forced to kind of choose yourself. It's not your choice. I think it's the default. It's not where you want it to be, but yet this is where it is, and this is where it lies. And you just have to it just is what it is. And the Enchantress of Cups, deep emotion. Like I was saying, earth and air, water and fire, and you, fire, Leo, deep emotions, right? And so much passion and feeling. And there's likely an anger toward this person for, I don't know, for denying you something, denying you this perfection, or denying you this life that you thought you were both working for. It's kind of like they pulled the rug out from under you a little bit, I think. Not intentionally, it's just, I think there were red flags that were ignored, and now those red flags are now becoming your liability. And the Enchantress of Coins, unwilling to speak, again, likely how you see this other person, another coins. Okay, this is the card of Capricorn now. So And again, earth signs are, every sign has a loving side, every side has a sunny side, every sign has a shadow side, okay? Enchantress of Coins is afraid. Enchantress of Coins is insecure. She has her own demons that she's dealing with. She's got a lack of focus, right? Or a fear of focus. A fear of commitment as well. Now we have the Chariot reversed. It's likely that something had been revealed. I'm really sensing that there was a conversation that changed the course, okay? Now, the Chariot is that private world really coming to head and exposing those private worlds, and no longer can the two of you put on this front. No longer can you pretend, right? This is about authenticity, because likely this relationship, or again, if you're single, the relationships that you're harvesting or that you're, planting seeds for now, likely they are superficial, and red flags are being ignored, warning signs are being ignored. It's so important, Leo, for you to pay attention to your intuition, because you don't want to make mistakes again. You don't want to repeat. You've already learned lessons, so don't allow yourself to repeat. You have to relearn the lesson. No one's in control right now. That's what's weird, okay? Like, no one's in the driver's seat. Like I said, you're both kind of brick walling, and you're both, it's like a draw. There's no power struggle per se. It's just, there's an emptiness and there's a void, but yet there's deep emotion on your side. Deep passion, deep commitment, and they care about you and they love you, but they just have to go. They just have stuff. They just got to go do stuff, right? Like, they're not as emotionally invested as you are. And if you decide that you're okay with that, they will stay around. But I think, again, not trying to pull out the negatives of your sign, but the Leo ego or the Leo need for attention cannot handle that, and therefore this remains your demon. This remains your devil, the noose around your neck. So you must choose yourself. Maintain your self-respect. Maintain your dignity, if you will. That is your only option, really, I believe, to move on. Six of Swords, moving on. You're afraid of being trapped here. I know you are. You're afraid of what this mental prison that this person is, like, you're in a mental prison because of this person's behavior. You're in a mental prison because of the circumstances in which you find yourself. But the only choice is to move on, to learn, to take the lessons that you have learned and to move on. Now, not saying you're getting divorced or not saying you're breaking up. Some of you will be, but others of you will choose to leave this behind, okay, and to start a new chapter. A new chapter that requires them to be more independent and less emotionally dependent on someone else. It's going to be healthy for some, it's going to be unhealthy for others, okay? Some of you need to break up with your partner. Some of you need to accept that this person cannot deliver or cannot match your passion, cannot match your level of intensity, and therefore is maybe not the right person for you. Others of you that are married and in love and you've hit a little bump in the road, it's a matter of recommitting. And again, there's no codependence here. So if you have found yourself in a codependent situation, to address that and to fix that as quickly as possible. Okay? So yeah, I'm going to leave you guys with that. This was a really clear but also very intense reading. There's a lot of intensity happening this month. So I really, really do wish you guys nothing but the best. Thank you so much for being here as well. And I will see you in a couple weeks with the generals. Bye.